Hey guys, it's been a while since I've done one of these types of videos. I really usually don't do how-to videos or anything like that, but I figured since it's been a while since I've changed and I've built my own computer and I've changed the way that I've done my editing my videos, I figured how I do a basic, how I pretty much edit and basically do all of my videos. It's pretty easy for me, especially if I don't have any commentary, which in this in this example, I will show you because I won't have any commentary on it. Little preface, I use Adobe Premiere CC 2017 to edit my files, to record my gameplay. If I'm just doing straight gameplay with no commentary, I use NVIDIA Shadowplay, which is really good. It takes, it records right from my GPU, so it's very low resources used on that. Very good quality doing that. You can match it to 60 FPS, 30 FPS, and all that jazz. If you have NVIDIA Shadowplay, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, and if I'm using if I'm talking myself like I am right now, or if I'm have friends or anything like that, I use OBS. Currently, I'm using the latest version, 20.0.1. Here, let me see if I can drag it over here so you can kind of see it for a second. Yeah, you can kind of see it. It's kind of window and window, kind of annoying, but that's what I'm recording right now. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So essentially, this is we're going to be working on my 10th episode of Sonic Mania. Now with Sonic Mania, I just didn't feel like talking. It's one of those games where you really just want to take in the visuals, the audio. It's 8-bit. You don't want to hear me talk and all that jazz. So actually, no, it's not 8-bit, 16-bit. What am I talking about? Anyways, so I would open it up, name it Sonic Mania 10 because that's the 10th episode. And now I got to get all my stuff. Now my videos go straight to my solid state drive. It's best to record to that if you've got the room, so there's no bottlenecking. If you, because I do have two external, or not external. I have two other hard drives that have about 5 terabits of space, but the write speed and read speed of this is better. So right now, the one I'm looking for is yeah, it's this one. Yeah. So go ahead and drag that in, or bring that in, and then now we need to go to all of my other stuff. So we have my watermark. I have a new watermark that I made, but I'm not going to use that for another series. And then depending on if I'm recording a game that's at 30 FPS or I'm recording a game that's at 60 FPS, I will record that in. So first thing I'll do, go ahead and drag that in there. Now for some reason, I don't know, by default it always makes it so big. So if you hotkey and hit the minus symbol, it will shorten the length of that clip. Well, it won't shorten the length of the clip, it'll make the timeline smaller. So I go ahead and do that. Now for some reason this is always too loud, so I always put it to -6 decibels. So you go over to the audio manager clip over there, put the 6. Now usually what I'll do from there, you go to effects down here, and I already have these open, but if you go to audio transitions and video transitions, audio transition, constant power, just drag it right at the very end of that one. And cross dissolve, that's the one by default, it's the one I use. Do that. So just to give you a little preview, just okay. So that is done now. So the next thing I do is go and grab the game here. This is what I recorded from NVIDIA Shadowplay. Now I got to find the part where it started. Now I can't remember this video because lately with Sonic Mania, I'll start the game and I'll play it, and I'll have like 1 life left, continuing from the last video, and then I'll die, and then I'll have to restart again. So I can't remember how long is this video. I can tell you right away, depending on how long the video is. It's some length, actually, thinking about it. Well, let me see how many if I started off with 1 life when the video starts, I can almost guarantee that, yeah, this is going to be, let me make this, yeah, see, I died, because I can already see I got the 3 lives. Yep, I did. So we want to get right to where it starts the game right there. Sorry, that's a little loud, I know. I don't want to turn it down, but I'm kind of just scrubbing through it, so it's perfect right there. So we'll go ahead and take the razor tool here, hit shift to cut through both tracks, and click it, highlight, then hit delete. Now it's kind of annoying to have to drag this, so hit the key that's right above the enter key. I can't remember what it's called. It'll make the it'll just show you everything. And kind of just drag it almost all the way to the end of here, and then hit the plus symbol, make it a little bit larger again. Now, I don't really need to adjust the volumes for this, it's fine. And then just do cross dissolve here, and then we will do constant power here. And what you want to do is just go ahead and just slide, and since we have snap on, it should go right and snap to it. So if everything goes swimmingly, this should transition perfectly right to the episode start. So let's go ahead and give it a watch. Perfect. Alright, so next order of business is my watermark. So watermark, you just want to go ahead and drag it in there. Drag it, and you need to extend it because since it's just a still image, it's a PNG, so it's transparent, so it'll go over whatever I do. You just want to drag it right to where these start, and then give it a opening transition. Now, unfortunately, I have to resize this. I always do. It's not that much of a pain in the ass anymore, but just go ahead and make a. I guess that's the right size, and you kind of have to. I'm gonna have to eyeball it here. Hold on a second. It's kind of hard to see because of that lava, so give me 1 second, real quick, to an area where it's not all that yellow. Okay, good. That's better to see. Oh, and what the hell did I just do? Oh, I moved all the way to the very end. Okay, well that's why. Okay, I guess that's fine. All right. One thing I forgot to do, because the way I get my still images for all my thumbnails is I wait until this is up, like that, and then if you click the little camera here, it'll export that frame. So, and then I'll go into Adobe Premiere, and I'll use editing tool, and I'll get all this yellow out, and then I'll just put that on top of my thumbnail, and then that's how I get all the thumbnail parts. So I'll go ahead and do that. So once I do that, I'm going to put that. Usually I do that first, but I'm just going to drag this right back to where it goes. So that's at a good spot. That's at a good spot. So when it goes and starts, it's right there, ready to go. All right. So next order of business, go ahead and hit that symbol above the Enter key. I don't know what it's called. It's the backslash, I think. Yeah, backslash. And go ahead and just drag it all the way to the end of the clip. Now we need to find a good ending point. Usually it'll be right when the zone ends, or the next zone starts, and then a little bit of the music plays, and it sounds like a good spot. So right there, I paused. So let's see. Yeah, usually I'll let it play through a measure, and then that'll be that. So I'll go ahead and clip that out. Get rid of all the excess. Hit delete, and then cross dissolve for the end of that. Click and drag cross dissolve for the video for that, because cross dissolve only works for video files, not audio. And then the audio one, just go ahead and do that. Now we'll go ahead and watch it have a nice cool fade. So that works really well. Now, looking at the end of that, it looks like my here is a little too high. So if you just hit like down on the keyboard, the arrows, you can adjust it like a frame or pixel. Let's see. It's over to the left a little bit too much. Still a little too much. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get all this going. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So this is now done. So what I'll go ahead and do is, just in case something happens, you know, something crashes, always save. Alright, so next thing we want to do is we want to render this. So what you're going to want to do is, actually before I do anything, I got to remember what the name of this zone is, so that way I can title it. So this is, oh, it's Lava Reef Zone. Okay. So what you want to do is, a quick shortcut is to hit Control M on the keyboard. That'll bring up your editing. And it went into the other window, so let me move it over here. Okay, so there we go. It's right there. So basically what you're going to want to do is, I always go to entire sequence. I already have a preset, but I'll go ahead and show you. Because this is a 60 FPS game, I already have a preset for 60 FPS. I had one for 30, but I had to end up reformatting my computer as of late and reinstall, and I didn't make the preset for 30. But when I do end up having a 30 FPS game, I'll end up making one. But anyways, for 60, what you're going to want to do is, if you want to copy my settings, they work pretty well. Width, height, 1920 by 1080. If that's what you're recording at. If you're recording at 720p, 1280 by 720. Frame rate, you can do either 60 or 59.94. It's not going to make a difference as far as that goes. profile, always keep that on high, and then for level 5.1 for 60 FPS. If you were doing 30 FPS, you would do 4.1. You don't have to render at maximum depth. It depends on how good your computer is. I have a really great computer, and I use my graphics card using GPU acceleration using CUDA. If you know tech talk, you know what I'm talking about. Well, it helps speed up the rendering process. My CPU is really good too. I mean, it goes to like 95% capacity when I render a video, anyways, but it renders it out pretty quickly. So if you don't have a fast computer, you don't have to worry about this. Now, the most important thing is bitrate settings. Now, you always want to encode at a variable bitrate, 2-pass, because the first pass reads it and the second pass encodes it. So if you go to Google and you type in advanced encoder settings, just type that in. The very first link will be from YouTube, and tell you exactly what you need to do as far as bitrate goes. Now, for a 60 FPS 1080p video, 12 megabits per second is their standard target. Now, the maximum bitrate is, I put it at 16, just because it gives it a little bit of variance between 12 and 16 if there's extra stuff on the screen. Anything higher than that, you're not going to want to put it at like 20 or 50 or anything like that, because YouTube's just going to compress the shit out of it anyways, and it's just going to be a waste of time for you and all of that. So just keep that as it is. Audio settings, keep that. If you're recording at 4800 kilohertz, do that. Or so, not kilohertz, geez, 4800 hertz or 4100, 48,000, sorry. Audio high, and make sure your bitrate's at 320. That's pretty much it for that. Now, use maximum render quality. That I always tick because I want to have a good video and I can handle it. Now, use previews. You can, if you use previews in while you're rendering, what you can do is you can render in and out in your timeline, and it'll make it, especially if you have a slower computer and you want to render that in, so that way when you're scrubbing through everything, because if you don't have a good computer or anything like that, it's not really up to frame and it's just kind of like laggy and jumpy. So that's what that does. So if you use previews, it'll take what you've already rendered in and out and make this encoding time a lot smaller. So even though this is like a 16-minute file, it's only a, what is that, like a 1 gig, 1.25 gig file. It's not that bad. So next thing we want to do is I want to name the video. So it's going to be right into here. So I'm going to name, and for some reason with Adobe Encoder, I can't use like brackets or question marks or anything like that, or parentheses. So I have to put it all with hyphens. So it's here, Sonic Mania PC, Lava Reef Zone Act 1 and 2. You can't do ampersands either, so I have to do and then my name is usually what I do. I'll hit save, and I will hit export, and then it'll be done. Now, that's pretty much it. And yeah, then it'll encode, and it ain't gonna take that long, but since I'm encoding now, I don't want this to anything happen with this. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions about my encoding process or anything involving Adobe Premiere or NVIDIA Shadow Play or anything I do, go ahead and drop me a comment. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode of whatever I do. Thanks for watching, guys.